AskReddit. Parents of Reddit, what's something your kids do without realizing it hurts your feelings? 4-year-old, Daddy, I love you me. Thanks bug. I love you too. 4-year-old, Daddy, I love mommy more though. Say me too. I have a daughter, 12. We've always been pretty close, and in most ways we still are. We've always done everything together, but she's at the age now where friends, etc. are becoming more important. I'll bring up something we can do, like watching a movie that I think she'll like. 5 minutes in, she'll get a message from a friend, light up, and just disappear for the rest of the movie. Now, I get it. I'm sure I was like that too. I'm not gonna freak out about it or anything, but I'd be lying if I said it didn't hurt my feelings a little now and then. Dads just want to keep dadding. When my daughter was 5, I let her watch The Lion King. She's a fairly emotional little thing, so we were concerned about how she'd react to the death of the father. We get to the scene, and I'm watching her carefully, but there's no big reaction. This is a kid who cries during some commercials. Anyways, I don't beg the issue and let it roll. Later in the movie she asks where Simba's dad is, and I think, here we go. I pause the movie and talk with her about how he died in the stampede. Her reaction: what's the big deal? He still has his mom. Ice cold. One Halloween when my son was like 4, our little nuclear family went to a corn maze for fun. To make things a little more exciting, the proprietors had also set a tippy with a giant pumpkin inside. You were supposed to go into the tippy and make a wish on the pumpkin. So we sent my son in make a wish and he says I wish it was just me and mommy and daddy was at work. My heart shrank 3 sizes that day. He's 20 now and is still mortified with guilt over saying this. If my kids ever have night terrors, I'm normally the first one to wake up to go and comfort them. Majority of the time our 2-year-old daughter just screams at me, I don't want you, I want mommy. Hurts every time. Every morning as a kid I was always woke up to the sound of my mom singing. It was her way of wake up, it's time for school. I'd sometimes wait beside my door or pretend to sleep just to listen to her more. When I was 10, I was in a bad mood and my mom was singing while driving. I yelled at her, stop singing, you don't even sound good. She stopped singing after that. Ouch. Even I felt that one. When my daughter gets a night terror at night, she will tell me crying that she wished I died instead of mommy. She hasn't done it for a couple of months now, but it hurts more than I can bear. I calm her down and get her back to sleep and usually go to my room and cry. I spent thousands of dollars in court to stand up to my ex-wife so my son could attend an internship his senior year. He didn't finish the internship, accused me of never supporting him, and then went to live with his mother after he graduated because he wanted to smoke weed, forgetting the experience he learned during his internship. My ex just recently moved an hour and a half away, so things are touch and go with my son right now. But he will regularly say how much he wants to spend time at her new place when we are spending our time together, or repeatedly ask to have sleepovers at her house when he first comes back. I know he loves us both, but dang, that cuts deep. My almost 3-year-old twins often tell me I'm not invited to their birthday party. Both of my kids make a lot of comments about my body and some of them can sting. Last week my 5-year-old said my arms were like bags of cookie dough. Less than a month after having a baby, my 6-year-old asked me if I was going to start working out so my belly would go down. I said thanks, and she said no, not in a mean way, I just want to hug you closer. Right now he's a toddler, so he's just hardwired to be a bit of a jerk, but it bothers me when I get him up in the morning or come home from work and he doesn't want to hug me or tell me about his day at all. Also, he begs me to play with him. But when I do, he generally takes whatever toy I'm using or tells me I can't do that. Get yourself a sweet Batman toy and kick his toy's ass with it. My teenage son came across some old wedding photos that his dad had put away for him at his office. When his stepmom discovered these photos, she became upset, so my son threw them away to avoid the drama. These photos were 24 years old. There are no duplicates and my son doesn't understand why I'm upset that he didn't just bring them to me. How the fuck old is this kid? That's completely ridiculous. He's 16. When I drop them off at a party or day camp and I go to say bye, they've already gone off with friends. Kids are getting older now, so it's not cool to kiss or hug dad goodbye, but man it stings, and I sure don't want to embarrass them, so I just sadly walk to my car. Maybe say your goodbyes in the car, so they know how you feel, but gives them the freedom to go off on their own. When my son begs me to help him make something in the garage, and then in the middle of explaining to him how we are going to do it, asks me if he can go play Minecraft instead. Before your boring comments, we were designing a fidget spinner in CAD to print on the 3D printer. He was doing the work himself. Ask me every morning if I'll even try to smell good that day. I like that, he's more fun. Look, I don't like being the disciplinarian either, but I feel like I have to sometimes. Sucks to be seen as the less preferred parent for doing something I wish I didn't have to do in the first place. My 12-year-old son basically ignores me as much as he can. It's puberty and it's all normal, but a year ago I was still his favorite person and now it's all about his friends, girls, and video games. And I'm the uncoolest person on the planet apparently. I made him go for a walk with me and the dog the other day, just to try to have some conversation, and he said, "Why do you make me do things that make me unhappy?" To which I responded, "Spending time with me makes you unhappy." And he said yes. I told him he could turn around and go back home then, and he did. I cried the whole way to the dog park. My 5-year-old daughter said she wanted a new mommy because I don't have a pretty face. She didn't realize it would be hurtful, I guess. I'm divorced with split custody. My ex has a large extended family that lives nearby, and they are always together letting the little cousins all play together. My family is the exact opposite, live hours away and nobody young to have playdates with. So, weekly my 5-year-old cries when it's time to go to my house because it's not as fun as dad's. I'm on a budget and can't afford to take her out every week to the zoo or movies. Every single dollar is budgeted. It makes me cry often when I see how excited she is to go to his house because mine is boring. I just want her to know that I'm trying. Last year my wife spent the whole summer making it as great as she could for our then 6-year-old. Holidays, theme parks, everything she could. They did loads together. Got a phone call at work from wife crying/furious. At the end of it, going back to school, she'd asked what she had enjoyed most. The day trip to London. Only problem was that was with me at Easter. Still, it was an absolutely awesome day. My kids do this to me. I think part of it is that I'm there all the time doing stuff with them. Their dad works a lot of hours, so I can stay home. So when he's home and he takes them to the park or on a bike ride, it sticks out as a major highlight. When I do it, it's just another Tuesday afternoon. I know they appreciate everything I do with them, but it's not out of the ordinary, so it isn't special. But it does sting. My 4.5 years old daughter screaming "I hate you and I don't want you as my father anymore" during a tantrum or after I discipline her. She has no idea what she's saying and she doesn't mean it, but it still stings every time. Basically toddler cussing. I have a daughter who at that age would firmly say "I don't love you anymore." It killed us. Took a long time for her to knock it off. I'm a long time widower. Me and my son were left alone and used to be really close. After he moved to college, he used to call every day. I lived for that phone call. Gradually they started decreasing from once on 2 days to once a week. Now he has a girlfriend and rarely talks to me. I sometimes watch his Instagram and feel sad. I wish he would call more. My mom kind of has this issue. I have a life and move on. She never calls. She has a phone. I have a phone. We all know the numbers. Pick a dull time. Sunday morning or something. Call. When they reference my wife's boyfriend about anything, hurts every time. We are not even divorced. She has listed him as a parent on forms. My daughter's inquisitive and brutal honesty. "Why are you so fat? Why do you smell?" Oh, and when I say we can't afford something, she'll just tell me to work harder. Edit. This blew up a bit. I should state my daughter is the loving, caring sort but can sometimes be a bit insensitive. Just like any other child. These instances are few and far between. She makes me laugh daily with the things she says. I consider myself blessed. I'm fat. I've lost 2 stone in the last 3 months. I plan to lose more. My daughter may or may not be responsible. I smell like a manly man, unless I've just finished work. Then I smell like a manly man who's just finished work. My daughter has a point, until I hit the shower. For more content, subscribe to Mr. Reddit.